In his last life, Ling Han had once ventured into quite a number of ancient historical sites, and in some of them there was this light of God. Shattering Void Tear lay above Heaven Tear, and it was rumoured that those who managed to cultivate Shattering Void Tear to completion had the ability to shatter the void and truly transform into gods. Thus, the restrictions laid down by ultimate warriors of Shattering Void Tear were also known as Light of God. In his last life, because of his search for ways to break through to Shattering Void Tear, Ling Han had practically scoured through all the ancient historical sites he could find. As a result, he had seen this Light of God many times. A large part of the rumours could not be relied on. According to his deductions, Light of God should not have been set up by Shattering Void Tear warriors, but rather the remaining divine light that emanated from the remains of these warriors after their deaths. When he thought this, Ling Han could not help his thoughts taking a sudden turn. Could it be that a powerful warrior of Shattering Void Tear had risen at that time, and for some reason became the target of Zhang Yuefeng, and the others ganging up on him? Should an ultimate warrior of Shattering Void Tear display his might, then it would not be strange for so many Heaven Tier warriors to die in battle against such an opponent. Of course, there was another possibility, and that was that a lot of Heaven Tier warriors had discovered the tomb of an ultimate warrior of Shattering Void Tier. In order to fight over the relics and treasures left behind by this Shattering Void Tier warrior, they were embroiled in a grand battle royale. The result was uncountable injuries and deaths, and the breakage of their spiritual tools. With this comparison in mind, Ling Han was more willing to believe that it was the former possibility. "Young friend, is there any way to break this restriction?" Zhao Wuxue asked. "There is," Ling Han nodded. If it was any other restriction, he would indeed have no idea, but it was the light of God. In his last life, he had broken this restriction who knows how many times. This had nothing to do with cultivation level. What was needed were the necessary ingredients. "What?" Zhao Wuxue and the others gasped in unison. Zhao Wuxue had simply asked in passing, and had not placed any hopes that Ling Han would be able to break the restriction. He had never imagined that Ling Han would give him such an unexpected answer. Is that true? Hearing Ling Han's answer, it rather caused a considerable amount of doubt to arise in the others. After all, Ling Han was only an element gathering tier, so he was really much too weak in their eyes. "You can choose not to believe me, but if you want me to break this seal, I need a few ingredients. If you can get me these ingredients, then I will immediately be able to break this seal," Ling Han declared. "Please tell us, young friend, what ingredient do you require?" Zhao Wuxue asked. Ling Han opened his mouth and recited the names of a colossal amount of ingredients. The names of these ingredients caused the faces of Zhao Wuxue and the others to turn green, and some of them even looked like they were about to spit out fire. This was practically asking them to spend their entire family fortunes. "Whenever you can gather all these ingredients, then I'll be able to unseal this barrier. If you have yet to gather these ingredients, then please do not come to disturb me." Ling Han flung out these words and brought the two girls ahead to go back the way they had come, leaving behind these 10+ old men to exchange looks of indecision. "Do you all think that the words of this brat could be believed?" Zhao Wuxue asked, breaking the tension. Since he is Grandmaster Wu's representative, then he should not have been speaking without thinking. "But this brat is only 16 or 17 years old. Does he really have such ability? It may be true that he is indeed an exceptional genius. He would not have been able to become Grandmaster Wu's representative otherwise. All of you need not trouble yourselves with these worries. This brat requires so many extremely valuable ingredients. It is already not something that can be decided by us. We had best immediately send a messenger bird back to the Imperial City to inform our respective clan elders." "That's true." They all nodded in agreement, and when they went back, all of them immediately sent off messenger birds to contact the Imperial City. Messenger birds were actually a kind of demonic beasts that, after being trained, could be used as messengers. They were extremely fast in flight and could travel a few thousand miles in a single day. Thus, on the next day, they all received a reply telling them to agree to Ling Han's request, and that all of the clans would send out spiritual pedestal tier warriors to personally deliver the ingredients over. After all, these ingredients were really much too valuable. Probably even half of the national treasury would be emptied due to such expense. A mere 4 days later, a few high-ranking persons of spiritual pedestal tier had arrived, together with the ingredients that Ling Han had asked for. "Little fellow, you're so young, but you know quite a lot." A kind, gentle-looking old man entered into Ling Han's tent and smiled at him very serenely, as if he was looking at his own grandson. Yet Liu Yutong showed an expression of fear. This old man was the elder of the Li clan, and his name was Li Zhangye, an authentic spiritual pedestal tier warrior. But don't take his kind and gentle expression at face value. In truth, this old man was a vicious and merciless character, possessing a great reputation in the imperial city from the numbers that had died in his hands. In his youth, who knows how much blood had stained his hands. Now he was much older and had put most of his time into trying to break through to Flower Blossom tier, which allowed his bloody reputation to diminish. Only the people of the older generation now knew of this god of death. Ling Han laughed and said, "I like to learn a lot of different things, so I have a bit of knowledge about a lot of different areas. Light of God was not something that could be broken through brute force. Even ultimate warriors of heaven tier could do nothing against it." As a result, Ling Han had tried a lot of methods before finally coming up with a technique that could allow him to open a door in the light of God. "Heh! It really is good to be young and have a lot of time on your hands. You can learn anything you like. Unlike me, I already have half a foot in the coffin, and when I close my eyes to sleep tonight, I don't even know if I will be able to open them tomorrow morning," Li Zhangye said with a laugh. However, his laughter was a bit frightening to hear, causing goosebumps to rise on the skin of Liu Yutong and Li Xichan. Ling Han did not mind in the slightest. He had once been an ultimate warrior of heaven tier in his last life. So would he be frightened by a spiritual pedestal tier martial artist? That has to be a joke. "Please return, Elder. I need to do some preparations, and after about a day, I will be done and ready to break that barrier." Ling Han said Li Zhangye could not help be surprised. This brat actually dared to chase him off. However, he now had something to request of the latter, so he did not dare to refuse. He could only make a move and leave the tent. "Who? The old ghost is finally gone!" Ling Han breathed out a breath of relief and quickly picked out a few valuable medicinal ingredients from the large amount of ingredients and began to concoct alchemical pills in the first instant. This, Liu Yutong and Li Xichan were shocked to numbness when they saw this. It seems like Ling Han had attained his own ends by abusing his position and had named a lot of unnecessary ingredients to concoct alchemical pills for his own use. To actually dare to scam the imperial family of Rain Country and the 8 great clans, Ling Han has got to be the only one. That was natural. To ask him, the alchemy emperor, to do something for them, how could they not offer something equal in value to their request as payment? Ling Han was at full power and did not rest for the whole day and night, continuing to concoct a large number of alchemical pills. When it was dawn the next day, he snickered and threw a pill bottle over to Liu Yutong and Li Xichan respectively, and said, "This is your share of benefits and the payment for you keeping quiet." In the previous day, the 2 girls had both become his assistants, doing chores like separating the various medicinal ingredients. Otherwise, Ling Han would really not have been able to complete this large number of pills. 4 transformations pill! Ancient clear pill! Li Xichan's beautiful eyes swept over the pill bottles and instantly gasped out in surprise. There was a clear expression of astonishment on her pretty face. There actually exists someone who can concoct these pills in this world. What 4 transformations pill? Ancient clear pill? Liu Yutong did not know much about the field of alchemy, so her face was filled with confusion. They are all spiritual medicines that can help raise one's cultivation level, and their effects are 10 times better than similar pills that are available now. But the 4 transformations pill is to be used by Gushing Spring tier, while the ancient clear pill should be used in element gathering tier. Li Chan explained. This time, Liu Yutong's expression had changed completely. 10 times the effects. What kind of concept was that? She would be able to reach the 9th layer of gushing spring tier within a year's time and begin breaking through to spiritual ocean tier. When she just thought that she would be only 20 years old and yet reach spiritual ocean tier, she was almost ready to pass out. Ling Han laughed. The alchemical pills concocted by others indeed had 10 times the normal effects, but the pills he concocted would at least be worth 13 stars and have at least 30% additional effects in addition to the 10 times. But he would not be mentioning that lest he scared these 2 girls to death.